Hello and welcome back, and today you join me on a place that I visited earlier in the year when I just got this camera, actually, the Canon G7X, which is my main vlogging camera. And I arrived here only with that. It was a scouting mission. It was winter, there wasn't much vegetation, but the place was absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen that, I'll link to that episode here, but I've come back now. It's summertime, as you can see, it's warm, and I want to go exploring. I want to see what it's going to deliver with some vegetation. It's the evening, so I should have some nice side light coming through. So come on, let's go and we'll see what we find. Where we are right now is a beautiful fairy wood. Okay, so along each of the trees here there are some fairy doors and fairy characters. It's a wonderland for kids, but the area itself is beautiful because every single tree is covered with moss. And as you can see by the light that's coming through here now, so the sun is setting over here, so it's going to give me some nice light rushing through the woodland. And what I want to try and do is play with the light. I want to be able to see what the light can help with. I want to be able to wait for the light to be able to highlight an area within the wood itself that I should think that should lend to a nice image. So I'm going to have a look. I'm going to see, and what I typically would do is I'll look and see where the light is going to move to, so that I can position myself and just wait for the light to hit what I want to hit then, and that should give a focal point within the image itself. So I'll give you a look around here and then I'll find the spot that I'm going to take a shot and explain what I'm going to do then. What I'm going to try and do here is utilize the light that's coming through, and the light is coming from behind me here, and something that I've learned when I'm shooting in the woodland is try not to interfere with the shot itself. So to help me not do that, what I do is I utilize this tree that's behind me here that's stopping the light, and I'm actually in the shadow of that. If I was to step out, you should see me moving here within the frame. So by coming back in within the tree, then I'm not actually going to interfere with the shot. And because I've got that light that's on these two trees here in front of me, I'm going to try and do something different. So there's a technique that you can do, it's like a zoom burst. So I've got my settings at f16 to give me a small aperture so that I can get a longer exposure. My ISO is at 50, and that's allowing me to have a 3.2 second exposure without any filters. So when I start taking the shot, what I'm going to do is take the shot and then I'm going to zoom in. And now the shutter's been open, has captured all that, and you get a very nice effect within the image. And then you can do the opposite. So again, take the same shot and zoom out, and meanwhile the shutter has been capturing all that detail. But it does, I think, give a different image, and again, something to be a small bit creative. So I'll move on now. There's a set of fairy doors that are down here, I think, that are going to get lit up in a minute. So I'll go and we'll take you there in a second. can see the fairy door that I'm talking on here, and there's a light now that's coming from behind here, and it's a shaft of light that's actually landing directly on this tree. And by doing the same effect, that should remain the brightest point within the image, and everything else then should feed out again from that. So I'm looking around now as well, and I see there's more light here. There's another tree that's over here as well, so we'll go to there and we'll try that one as well. This is what I mean by when I say about a little bit of light that comes in and it lights up certain parts of the forest. So you've got a fairy door here, you've got a fairy underneath that, and the idea behind what I want to do with the shot is use the same technique, so this zoom burst, and I want to focus on this, so that should be the center of the image, and then everything else then should spread out from that. And I do think by looking for specific bits of light within the woodland, it does allow you to be able to be creative, like I say, and get a different shot than just a snapshot. And by having the longer exposure, it does allow you to be able to have that effect both in and out. Something else you can do now as well, when the light and the sun is at this low, is sun flare. So you can position your camera so that the sun is just bouncing off the side of a tree, and then that then is probably, I think it's the word, refracts the light. But then when you use a aperture like f/16, you then get a sunburst, and it does create for a nice image, particularly in a woodland. And what I'm doing here is that this tree, and I have another tree here, and then I've got the sun actually going to be in the center of the image, and it's just a matter of me slightly moving the camera ever so much, or the tripod, sorry, so that I can make sure that I'm actually getting that flare. And then I compose my shot, take my shot, and I do think it does give for a very, very nice image when you get that flare or that starburst of the sun. So I'll crack on here and I'll get that shot as well. When I came here the first time, this tree really struck me because it was so mystical and it really stood out, and I was always hoping to come back and get it with some nice light in it. Now, like I said, if you are in the woodland and you just watch the way the light is going to go, I was on the further end when I shot the other ones, and I was looking over towards this tree, waiting for that light to come and hit it. So the light is on me now, but now when I step out is I'm getting a nice line right through the frame, and it's lighting up part of this beautiful tree. And that's one of the things as well that I really, really enjoy about going to a place, scouting it out. You can visualize a shot, so when you come back it would be nice from the conditions that you're looking for. I do want to come back here again in a morning time, because this place in a fog would be incredible. But this, I think, is a very, very nice example. I'm going to crack on. The light is here. I don't want to miss it, but I wanted to give you an explanation of why I like and follow the light as it goes through the woods. Another type of shot that you can get when you're in the woodland is a thing called ICM, intentional camera movement. And for the shot, you don't need to have the camera on the tripod, so it's handheld. And what you should try and do is have the frame filled with as many trees as you possibly can. And the idea behind it is you're going to do a slightly long exposure, but you're going to move the camera ever so slightly. And again, because like I did with the zoom burst effect, with this, the sensor is open, it's registering everything. And what you'll end up getting is a very ethereal or surreal or, yeah, a scene that doesn't exist, but I do think that it does make a nice photo. So I'm going to take one here and just going to matter of taking a couple of shots, moving around to make sure that I can get a nice framing within the actual scene. And then I just take the shot and move the camera. And yeah, you get a nice shot. I'll show you that shot here in a moment. But yeah, another example of how you can do something different in the woodland. Final shot from this evening now. The sun is going to go behind the forest trees that are on the other side, so my light coming through here is going to go in a moment. But as you can see behind here, the last visit that I had, I took the same shot, but with the G7X, but not with the main camera, and I wanted to come and have a look because there's a lovely natural framing of the trees coming across the top. We've got a bit of light now as well that's hitting it at the moment, so I'm looking forward obviously to be able to get this shot with the main camera. But I've really enjoyed this actually. It's just been a very, very quick visit, and it allowed me to be creative and give different styles of shots. They look okay on the back of the camera. I hope that they're going to be okay when I get home. But thank you very much for watching this episode. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the different styles of photography and landscape photography at that. And if you enjoyed it, please do leave a comment or like below, or which style you enjoyed or anything like that that struck you from the episode. And of course, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and hit the bell icon. And I would like to thank everybody. I recently reached 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is really good. It's really encouraging. And I do enjoy, like I say, going out into the landscape and taking different shots and showing you how I take my photos and my creative process behind that. So until the next time, Slán go fóill.